I'm going to tell everyone, if they don't already know, the truth about Shedeur Sanders, the truth about what happened, because I feel like there's a lot of BS out there and covering their tail. The Steelers passed on him in round 1. Everyone was shocked. And then it kept going and it became a big story. Here's the truth. The NFL did not like the way Shedeur Sanders acted. That is the meat of this. He is a good player, on tape, but he is not a first-round talent. Like Mel Kiper and Daniel Jeremiah and all these guys having him ranked as a first-round quarterback, I think is a stretch. I think it is because this was a weak quarterback class. So understood. I don't think it would have been crazy if he went in the first, but I think he's more of like a second-round talent. We can get into where he went in a minute. What I have been just like disgusted with, honestly, is the way the media has kind of handled this, mainly talking like ESPN in particular. And I don't really watch ESPN's draft coverage. I watch Rich Eisen on NFL Network and guys on YouTube that do what we do. But obviously it's been impossible not to see the clips. Everyone's acting like they can't believe it. They're just, what is causing this? Can you believe that he's sliding? What is this magic, elixir we can't figure out? Oh, I think I have an idea. He was a jackass to every NFL team for 6 months. His dad was constantly saying, we're going to decide where we're going to go. We're a top 5 pick. Anybody will take us. He doesn't work out with teams. He had bad interviews. He was acting entitled. And this is kind of the league, whether you agree with it or not, sending a message. That's what this is. That's the league saying, hey, and I think this is not just about Shedeur. This is about the NIL era of college kids moving forward. This is the league saying, you don't run the show around here. Even Deion Sanders, as much as we respect him, you're not going to come in here and tell us what to do. Shedeur had an awful interview with the Giants that went, disastrous. A lot of people were saying that. ESPN and everybody was ignoring that as if because they were anonymous claims that it wasn't true. But there was 15 of them. It just stacked up. He was cocky. And that whole pre-draft process of acting like he was better than everybody, he didn't have the tape to match up that attitude. You know what I'm saying? If he was Peyton Manning, or Andrew Luck, or even like Caleb Williams last year doing some of that stuff, you can be like, okay, because when you look at the tape, you're like, yeah, this guy, we got to go get him. But he doesn't have that kind of tape. He has a second-round talent tape. And he's acting like a bona fide top 5 pick. And it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. That's why he dropped. That plain and simple. All the stuff around it.
We're going to take a quick time out just to make sure you're subscribed to our channel. Take a look down below. If you're not, just do it. It takes 5 seconds. I'm going to wait.
In a way, I kind of feel bad for the kid because Deion Sanders is his dad and he's been around it his whole life. Seriously, if your dad acts that way and teaches you to act that way, well, you don't know it. You're like, yeah, this is how we act. We're the Sanders. I do feel bad for him partly for that, but this just acting like we have no idea what's going on. This show, yeah, he pissed everybody off. Why is it that big of a shock? ESPN and all these analysts. Last point, Ryan, I am so freaking sick of all of the media people tripping over themselves to show everybody how pro player they are. They're not in the right 100% of the time. And it just became painfully obvious how they view this and how they cover themselves and trying to be pro player and keep their relationships with Deion. Mel Kiper damn near had an aneurysm on live TV.
All the meanwhile, not saying upside at all the entire time and making me lose my parlay. Anyway, do you smell... Hang on, I just had to get this out of the oven. This is a humble pie.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to go ahead and cut a big slice for Shedeur right now. And I'm going to serve it to him, just like the rest of the NFL did. This is a course correction, like you said, on the NIL transition period. And this is much needed. And the worst thing to happen to this man, and this is why, I'm not going to say man, he's a kid still. This is why I do feel bad for him. It's because his dad, the worst thing that happened to him was his dad coaching him, period, in college. And he retired his number. Come on, we know what happened there. Okay, it's your son. And I get it, man. I'm a dad. I would, of course, want the best for my son, and I would think that he's the best out of the best.
But he's getting in his way.
But also, I'm realistic, and if you truly love somebody, then you got to let them grow on their own, and that hasn't happened. And all it's done is pumped up Shedeur's head this big, and now it got deflated in front of the nation, Tristan. This is bad for him. And it messes with your psyche. It messes with all kinds of things. Like, who knows now, like, how confident he's going to be going into this? I hope still, because he has a good shot at winning the room, the locker room. He has a good shot of battling it out and being the quarterback. Because who's he facing up against? Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, and who else?
Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco.
But
They also drafted Dillon Gabriel, which we'll talk about in a second.
But my point being, he could easily be the best quarterback in that room.
He could be. Yeah, and that's why this is aggravating, because it's like, with Deion doing this stuff, it's like, he is a good player. Like, I don't think he's a first-round player, obviously, but he's a good player. He's a player you would draft in the second. And that's when it became evident to me, Ryan. It's like, obviously, Cam Ward, even Jackson Dart going over him, okay, I disagree, but you know, I can see it. And then even Tyler Shuck or whatever, the guy from Louisville, even that, I'm like, okay, you could have that debate. After him, when it went Dillon Gabriel and Jalen Milroe, that's when I was like, oh, okay, they're definitely sending a message, because Shedeur Sanders is a far superior quarterback to Jalen Milroe and Dillon Gabriel based on the college tape. He just is.
The way that, and you made a great point, and this has been something I've been saying. We had like a small little draft party at my house. You know, one of the things that we talked about was what you said, that the media pumps up these kids, man. They're kids, right? They're 17, 18, 19, sometimes 20 years old. They are still so young and so green. And since high school, right? Like that, coming out of high school into college, they start pumping them up. And then all throughout their college career, they pump them up even more. And then reality sets in, and most of these kids that go to college that were scouted in high school don't even make the cut in the NFL. Then you have these pro player people like Mel Kiper and all these other guys that want to just pump these players up like, oh, this kid's so good, so good.
Well, can I just interject that point and let you play off of that? It's not even just the college kids. They do it with the NFL players too. Like when an NFL guy's in a contract dispute, on ESPN, 100 times out of 100, they're going to take the player side. It's never like, you know, the Brandon Ayuk situation when like it was logical to say, hey, I don't know if the 49ers should pay him a big contract right now. And everybody's like, he needs to get his money. He's a player. Like they're not, it drives me insane.
And I get it. Like I'm all for people getting as much money as they can. I love capitalism. Like let's paint it all over the wall. But I'm also a realist. And what did I see on Thursday night? They were taking these kids that hadn't started one day in the NFL, and they were side-by-side comparing them to Patrick Mahomes, a once-in-a-lifetime legacy player. They were taking other guys like the running back that went like 6th round or something like that, the first running back off the board, forget his name. Anyway, they were taking him and comparing him to, you know, Emmitt Smith. Like, what are we doing? Like, why are we already setting these guys up for failure? Oh, this guy, his comp was Patrick Mahomes, and he didn't live up to that hype? A big surprise. 99.9% of people will not. This is what frustrates me because, again, I'm a father here, right? Like, don't tell my kid, I'm not for participation trophies, okay? And that's what we're doing. We're just saying, hey, you're going to make it. You're going to do great. No, they need to hear the real truth of like, hey, this is going to suck and be really hard, and you're going to have to fight every day for your job. And one bad move, one bad break of the leg, your career is over. Like, has anybody told them that lately?
I think it's a balance because on the draft, it's like, I get it because you're trying to say this is their moment. You know, when like, if you're going to, oh, this is his comp. But that is why I prefer like guys on YouTube now, like that franchise guy. He doesn't need me shouting him out. That's a guy I watch. The PFF guys on Stock Exchange, Bootleg Football, all those guys, because they give comps that are more realistic. They're not just comping great players. Like they're really diving into tape and give you the best, you know, analysis for the player and try to be realistic of like, hey, best case scenario, he ends up being a, you know, B+ Chris Godwin, by the way, which is a good thing. And that's something that drives me up a wall. Not necessarily the whole comp thing, but just the way that the players can do no wrong. And with the Shedeur thing in particular, Ryan, this is what kind of, it drove me crazy up into the draft, and particularly as he started to fall. All the people on ESPN and all these networks acting like all of these, you know, bad rumors coming out about Shedeur were made up. People, they were literally acting like, oh, I can't believe you'd even take that seriously. Like the fact that we believe our own lying eyes. You know what I mean? Like we've seen the way he's acted. We've seen the tweets his dad's put out. We've watched the way they've handled this whole process. And then y'all are going to be like, well, what? Why is he sliding? It's a mystery. We are shocked by this. I was like, okay, I'm a little shocked he fell that far, but Y'all are shocked? He pissed off the league. He spit in their face. I don't remember if it was the Shrine Bowl or the Senior Bowl or something, but he said he was going to work out. So the bowl, whatever it was, flew his teammates out there to work out with him. And then he showed up in sweatpants, didn't work out, and left on a jet after the first day. And so those spots that they brought his teammates, they could have used to evaluate other players. They did not like the way he handled all of this at all. And if he had handled all of it like that and had Caleb Williams tape, he still would have gone number 1 overall. That's the thing. He acted like that, and he's got second-round tape. And everyone on TV and all these, NFL coverage guys acted like we weren't seeing what we were seeing. It was a mass gaslighting attempt by the NFL media.
How else do you expect a 20-something-year-old kid to act when all his life he's been told one thing?
That's why I said I kind of feel bad for him.
100%. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, grow up and take some responsibility. But
when your dad's not doing it.
But at the same time, which there's an arguable fact that his dad's always been this way.
Oh, yeah,
his whole career.
The difference is his dad is one of the greatest athletes to ever walk the planet.
Of all time. So, yes. It almost falls into the LeBron situation, man. It's very similar. Like, you keep these legacy guys that come out and pump their kids up and hold them, or at least tell them that they have the same standard as what that person, that father, has been through and has accomplished, is completely unfair. And I just feel like that sometimes these fathers, these awesome players in whatever, respected league, they just have to take a step back and say, hey, you go do you. I want to get as far away from you as possible to not steal that light or to dim it. Because one of the two things is going to happen if they stay close. You know what happened with Shedeur? His dad took the spotlight.
You're 100. That's such a great point. That's the best way to put it. And because what if they would have just, after college was over, if Deion would have been like, hey man, put your nose to the grindstone, get to work, go nail these interviews, be respectful. Hey, being humble and respectful, that's not going to hurt you. You cannot be too humble, too respectful in these interviews. If he would have grinded and went to every interview and been like, thank you for spending the time with me. I appreciate you. I guarantee you he would have gone first or second. But he didn't. He acted like he was better than them, better than the NFL. And the NFL sees this all the time. They're like, who are you, man? You haven't proven anything. You haven't proven anything. Your tape is your tape, okay, but you do not get to pretend you're better than the NFL. And back to the point, I'm not putting that all on him. I put a lot of it on his dad. But at the end of the day, that's why he fell. And I'm as shocked by the media trying to pretend that wasn't happening as this whole situation. This was a crazy thing. This was a huge storyline.